Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today and for spending a little time with me. If you will, like, share, comment on the post, and then if you would like, Genesis chapter 22, and we will begin the week looking at, well, it's not exactly difficult to understand. It's pretty well straightforward, but it's still difficult to understand. After these things, 22 verse 1, God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and he said, here I am. And he said, take your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I shall tell you. I said, it's not difficult to understand. It's obvious what's going on, but it's still difficult to understand. I try to stay within about 5 minutes every morning, and so that's going to be tough today. God tells Abraham, take this son. By now, Isaac has become probably a teenager, a young man, and God comes to him and tells him, take your son, this son who you waited on, this son who you pleaded for, this promised son, and offer him as a sacrifice. And some people may take and want to spiritualize this passage or make it symbolic. I think it's pretty obvious that's not what's going on here. This is what happened. God asked Abraham to take his son and to take his life as a sacrifice. He is placing Abraham, he has a choice here between God's blessing and God himself. You can choose to be obedient, you can choose to follow me, you can choose me, or you can choose the blessing that I gave you. This is a difficult test for Abraham. Abraham is not unfamiliar to test. Number of times he has been put in situations, very difficult situations. He was, when we first met Abraham, he was directed to leave all of his family, to leave the land of Ur and go to a different land. There was the test with Lot, and what the situation with Lot. There was the test with Hagar and Ishmael, and now he comes to the most difficult test as of yet, to offer up his only son. And God recognizes, he says there, take your only son, your son whom you love, and offer him. And so God recognizes, God understands the difficult condition, the difficult situation that he has put Abraham in. I want to back up here just a second. I skipped over something I wanted to emphasize. God tested Abraham and said to him, Abraham, and Abraham said, here am I. And we could spend a little bit of time dwelling on when's the last time you heard from God, when's the last time you answered God, responded to God, as Abraham does. And when he does, he gets this direction. This is calling for absolute surrender, complete faith. It is, this is a situation most of us cannot even, in our wildest imagination, put ourselves in. We can't even begin to understand what was going on here. And again, we could spend a long time here, so don't feel like we have a long time. So let me just sum it up for you as quickly as I can with one point. God is not testing Abraham because he needs to know about Abraham. He's not testing, God wasn't testing Abraham so Abraham could prove himself to God. God already knew Abraham's heart. He knew, he knows these things. God knows all things. Abraham needs to know his heart. He needs to know who he is. We need to see this story. We need to know, we need to see what total surrender and commitment to God looks like. We need a man with a testimony like Abraham. We need to know it is possible to be committed to God, to surrender yourself to God. We hear occasionally stories of people who give everything to go on to the mission field, those kinds of things. But we need to see here biblically an example of someone who knows God intimately and trusts God completely, recognizing that God can take care of him. And as we learn, as we move on, and most of you, you already know how this story plays out. And if you don't know, I'm guessing, if you've never heard this story before, you're curious enough, you've already got your Bibles out and you're starting to read ahead. So I want to know what happens. But we need this story. You and I need to see that a person can be committed to God. We need someone as an example of someone who is completely dedicated to God, and we need to see the faithfulness of God. And we're going to see that in this story. But for today, I just want to leave you with that reminder. We can be completely committed to God. We don't have to be half-hearted in our relationship. We can sell out completely to Him. And people have been doing it for years since then. Abraham did it, and then numerous people have done it. And then we have examples of people like Jonah who didn't do it, who went the other direction. Which one are you? Are you going to be committed to God? Are you going to be half-hearted or even no-hearted? Which one is it? You can be totally committed to God. Have a good one. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.